Okay, that might work. Kind of sucks I have to do it like this, but you know, it is what it is. But today I'm here to talk about something that I thought I already covered, but I guess I didn't. And that is going to be about Yeshua. How Yeshua kept all the commandments, but didn't necessarily do them all. Now, right off the bat, people are already going to be asking, like, well, you know, isn't that the same thing? Isn't keeping the commandments and doing the commandments the same thing? No. It's actually not. And here's why. Keeping the commandments simply means always remembering, always cherishing these commandments, always having them in your heart. That's the definition of keeping the commandments. Yeshua always had those commandments in his heart. They're his commandments. So he always remembered them. He always knew them. He always remembered them. He always acknowledged them. But he didn't do all the commandments. Why is that? Why didn't he do all the commandments? Well, simply because some of the commandments couldn't do. For example, quite a number of commandments have to do with a woman and women in their menstruation cycles. Since Jesus was born a man, he didn't have a vagina, which meant that he didn't menstruate. So he couldn't keep those rules. He couldn't physically do those commandments. But every other commandment that he was able to do, he did. And kept and encouraged other people to do all they are capable of doing, and to always remember the commandments. There's a very disturbing trend going around. Jeez, man. Woo! I got a little shower. Dang. Alrighty. But, there's a disturbing trend going around right now, where people say that we don't have to keep these commandments. It's one thing to say that we don't have to do all the commandments, which technically is true, because as men, there are commandments that we cannot do, such as I explained, commandments regarding the menstruation cycle. We can't physically do those. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do any of them at all. And the trend is that all you have to do is just believe in Yeshua and you don't have to be obedient at all. That seems to be the trend. And I'm not here to argue. I'm here to tell people what the Bible says. That's what my whole goal this whole time is to educate people about the Bible. YouTube is a great platform for me to speak about that. As of right now, YouTube hasn't blocked videos talking about religion, which is good. I feel like sometime in the future, they're going to crack down on Christians on YouTube, but who knows? So, now we get to the whole thing. Why keep the commandments? Why would we keep the commandments? Well, let's put it this way. If somebody does something really nice, really amazing for you, say you're a homeless man and you take the homeless guy out to eat, hasn't seen food in days. He's so overjoyed and so happy. And say then, after he's happy and after he's overjoyed about it, say the guy that provided the food says, you know, but say the guy that's happy say the guy that provided the food is like, hey man, you know, I don't mean to, you know, ask this, but would it be too much trouble if you helped my mother move or something like that? I don't know. You know, would it be possible if you helped me with this? And if he turned around and said, what? No, of course not. Is he sound grateful? Is that person grateful that you did that for him? It doesn't really sound like it. You know, think about it like this. Back in the day, if when someone came and saved somebody's life, saved them from, you know, being destroyed by the enemy or something like that, they were literally about to be struck down by the sword, but you came and you stopped them. What do men usually say in situations like that when you literally save their life? I am forever in your debt. I owe you everything. Ask and I'll do it for you. You saved my life. Why wouldn't I do it for you? Why wouldn't I do these things for you? And that's where I'm coming from. Christ literally gave up his life for everybody, to die for everybody's sins. And the only thing he's asking in return is to keep his commandments. He says, you say you love me. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. It's an obedience factor, you know? And I gotta say that there's a lot of Christians that do not want to be obedient to Christ. I call it like I see it. You know? Because if you're really truly obedient to somebody, you'll do whatever they ask. It doesn't matter. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, you'll do it. You know? And it's not that complicated to figure out, guys. It really isn't. When you love Christ, you're willing to do these commandments, not necessarily because he told you to, but because you want to. Because you have love and respect and obedience for Christ that you want to. That's why. And in fact, I'd be going as far to say is that people who aren't obedient to Christ don't really even know him. They claim to, but they don't. The ones that keep his commandments out of love for him are the ones that know him. Those are his sheep. If you want to be more like Christ, then you will do these commandments. It's as simple, at least as many as you're capable of doing. It's as simple as that. There's no further explanation. You know, if you're a football fan, if you're a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles and stuff like that, you're probably going to try to go to every game. If you can't go to every game, you're going to at least watch them on TV. Why? Because you're obedient to that team. And that's another issue entirely. But it's a metaphor. It's a good example. You know? If you love your parents, and your parents ask you to do something and you refuse to do it, is that showing love to your parents? I don't think so. I think that's being an ungrateful, unobedient son of a bitch, for lack of a better term. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to go ahead and do this video, and hopefully this made sense to people. And if you're still not sure about this whole aspect about keeping the commandments, ask our Holy Father, ask Yeshua what he thinks you should do. He has ultimate final say. Ask him, and I guarantee you he'll give you the right answer. Anyway, guys, it's been Flat Earth Sage. I love all y'all. Hope y'all are well. Peace out.